Hi folks, this is all the fruit, and on a construction site in Heidelberg, Germany, I found a strange nightshade with brownish fruits. Now of course we have black nightshade on this construction site. It's quite common throughout Germany except in the colder parts, and this is actually the subspecies of variety Schultesiae, Solanum nigrum var Schultesiae, the more hairy version. And you might think that the brown ones are just some paler version of the black ones, but there is no reddish orangish color in those black ones. There is, however, on the same construction site, the yellow nightshade, Solanum luteum, or Solanum villosum. Can also be called Solanum luteum var luteum, Solanum luteum var villosum. It's closely related to the red nightshade, Solanum alatum. However, Solanum alatum, I've never found it here in the area. This is Solanum villosum, although trampled a lot by the construction workers. Now, Solanum villosum, as well as Solanum nigrum, can have a lot of differences in fruit color. There is another site in Heidelberg with pale, really yellow Solanum luteum, while here the Solanum luteum means yellow, is more orange. I know only one site where it's yellow, and I think it lacks some pigment there, or it might be that it's actually the real Solanum luteum, while this one here is another one. There's a variety of Solanum nigrum being sold with orange fruits. But I've published on this species. Other botanists here in the area have also published on it because it tends to be very rare in Germany, but it's kind of common in Heidelberg. Some botanists even say it's more common than the black one. I disagree on this, but it's not uncommon. While in other cities around here, you will be very lucky to find it. One botanist thinks this is Solanum alatum. I think it's villosum, although this looks a little bit strange for villosum. Funny thing is, all those nightshades are tasty and edible. They are basically tiny tomatoes. This one tastes sour and really citrusy. Yeah, Solanum villosum is usually on the citrusy side, but this one is really citrusy, like a nice sour tomato. Let's try the nigrum. Since those are wild plants, not only every species, but also every single individual tastes differently. As you can see from my, only the completely ripe fruits. As you can see from my Solanum videos from a massive population last year. So now let's try this nigrum. Quite sweet and umami, but also a bit citrusy. Nice. The leaves are edible too, by the way. And now let's get back to our plant of interest here. If I saw it alone, I would have thought, oh well, this is a Solanum luteum with quite dark fruits. They are completely ripe, definitely. Even more sour and lemony. No sweetness in those, but a nice sourness. By the way, I recently acquired a collection of rare Solanums, which Mai is planting for me right now. So I hope I'll be able to show a couple other Solanum species and varieties. So now about this thing. 10-15 years ago, I would have photographed it a lot. I would have collected herbarium specimens. I would have nice and sour. Really refreshing. I would have worked a lot with books trying to identify it. Probably even written a short scientific article on it. Let's see, here is another black one. Again, I think this should be the Varschultesiae, very short. Still sour, but a lot more umami. And here is another luteum. The fruits are a little bit on the dark side of luteum, but not as dark as the other one, which is interesting because that means that there might be a continuum between the normal orange ones and the dark brown ones. Still lemony, but a bit more umami. Yeah, what do you think about this plant, folks? Is it really? I mean, it's definitely ripe. Don't tell me they are unripe. They are definitely ripe. They taste ripe despite the sourness. The unripe ones taste disgusting. Never eat unripe Solanum fruit. Most of them are also highly toxic while unripe, even the edible species. Yeah. So what do you think, folks? Is this just some Solanum luteum / villosum with very strong pigmentation? Or is it a hybrid with Solanum nigrum? Let's maybe collect a couple of each one. Yeah, here you see the different ones. Some quite darkish luteum on top, 2 nigrum, and 4 or 5 of those strange things with the intermediate color. What do you think? Are they just darker Solanum luteum? But it really stretches the word luteum. I mean, even the normal ones around here are orange, but those are really brown. Yeah, they look quite similar to the luteum, much more similar than to the nigrum, which are all part of one complex, the nigrum complex. Despite the different colors, they are closely related. And this complex is incredibly complex. And also the Solanum luteum / villosum complex within the nigrum complex is very complex. And also the nigrum complex within the nigrum complex is very complex on itself. Tell me, folks, what do you think? Is this a hybrid? For that, you also have to check things like the sepals around the fruits. Scroll back and check them in the video. I mean, nigrum and villosum have quite similar sepals, but they should still be distinguishable. Also on the first villosum plant, some of the characteristics looked a little bit more like alatum. Also, the elongated fruits look a little bit more like alatum. Tell me what you think, folks. What are those strange brown... strange but tasty brown Solanums here on this construction site. Apart from that, stay tuned for a lot more fruit videos from the beautiful and incredibly fruit-rich construction sites in Heidelberg. And if you want to see more of those videos, it's not enough to subscribe to my channel because YouTube doesn't recommend my videos even to my subscribers. Press the little bell icon, then YouTube is forced to notify you when I upload.